I'm Pennywise the dancing clown. It's time to float.
Hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can make this fun little Pennywise puppet out of a single sheet of paper using my simple folding template. Welcome along. My name is Ben Stanley and I design and create paper-based working replicas of beloved Muppets, puppets, characters and creatures, and I really love showing you how to make them. But I also know that a lot of you don't have hours and hours to make these really complex constructions, so this series is all about how you can bring your favourite character to life in no time at all using a single sheet of paper. I'm going to show you how you can draw and construct your very own version of this puppet using my folding template, which you can purchase right now from my online shop for less than the price of a coffee. And this template is going to be the basis for all of the single sheet paper puppet tutorials that I'll be sharing on this channel. So if you buy it once, you can use it again and again to help create your own collection of mini paper puppets. Plus, this one-off purchase really helps to support this channel, and it allows me to come back to you with lots more paper puppet building ideas. So it's a win-win. Okay, should we get into it? This is how to make a Pennywise puppet out of a single sheet of paper. So first of all, we're taking the printed template sheet and cutting away the head folding template section to work with, leaving aside the other half to come back to when we're drawing the body. The first step is to mark the centre point on these 3 horizontal lines of the folding template. We add an extra horizontal line 1.5 centimetres above the template's central horizontal line, then mark 7.5 millimetres either side of the centre point of that line, joining the 2 lines vertically to create a square shape. Here, on both sides, we line up the ends of the bottom horizontal line with an equivalent mark directly above on the central line. Then separately, mark out the points 1.6 centimetres either side of the centre point of the central and bottom lines of the template. From here, we begin to mark out the face, starting with this circle, and don't worry if you don't get it perfect, you can adjust it as needed, as you can see here. Then we bisect it horizontally and vertically, adding these diagonal lines that move up from the top corners of our mini square, but not quite reaching the circle's horizontal bisecting line. This simple D shape on its side that we're adding to the centre of the square will become the nose, and these lines will mark out the top lip. Then we mark out the eyes and eyebrow shape with a few more simple curved lines. Next, at the bottom, these curved lines will become the lower lip. Then we connect the top and bottom of his mouth with these long looping lines which will enclose the inner mouth. Back to the eyes, we're adding in the pupils. Then we start to add definition to the nose with a few further curved lines. What will become the red markings on his face want to start directly above his eyes, and then the lower part of those markings curve round from below the eyes to the corner of his lips. Then, starting at the point on the central line that we marked out at the beginning, we can sketch the edges of his face. These extra lines are his ears. Then we're adding the hair, starting at the top, with these simple curved lines, and then we're roughly marking out the rest of the hair. I'm showing this pencil marking stage in quite a lot of detail here because if I was watching this sort of tutorial, I would want to know how I can make something that looks on a par with the image of the video, even if I don't have much drawing experience. And for me, that's all about getting the proportions right. What I've always found useful is to break the structure of a drawing down using grids or simple geometric shapes, which you can then really build onto. Next we have the finishing touches of the mouth, which include his iconic crooked top teeth, but these are actually going to be at the bottom here. And it's really important to take guidance from the central mark that we added at the beginning. These teeth are going to represent his top teeth when his mouth is closed, but then they'll represent his bottom teeth when his mouth is open, which you'll see more clearly when I finish showing you how they link to the rest of the teeth in his mouth. I won't be spending much time in this video showing you the process of inking in the detail or shading or colouring, as that feels much more subjective and ultimately how you're going to make it your own. We add in the chin and then it's onto the teeth, and I've gone with this idea that when he opens his mouth we see the exaggerated teeth-rimmed mouth that he exposes when he's trying to make the kids float. Then it's a case of inking in the pencil lines with a biro, adding some colour with a few alcohol markers. I just used yellow, red and orange, and then adding in a bit of shading. And that's the face done, and we're on to the folding. With this fold you can see the teeth effect I mentioned earlier. And here you can briefly see the folding process, but there's a much more detailed tutorial on the full folding process that comes with the template purchase. Then we're onto the body using the remaining half of the sheet of paper. I've divided it in half vertically and horizontally, then again into quarters horizontally. There's an extra horizontal line about 2 centimeters from the bottom, and the line above that is another 1.5 centimeters higher up. These vertical extra lines are about 4 centimeters in from each side edge. This mini horizontal line, which we'll cut along later, is about 1.5 centimeters below the top edge and 3.2 centimeters wide. So we start with this rough triangular shape of his mid-body and then this oval for his ruff or collar. These circles are his shoulders. And these roughly triangular shapes his sleeves. The legs fill these central rectangles and the odd ends of his trousers fill the next section down. Then his boots fill the bottom 2 sections, and it works best for the puppet and how it will walk for the boots to be more or less pointing forward in terms of their design. Then we join up the arms and complete the torso. I got this a bit wrong, making the waist too thin, but as we're working in pencil, at this stage we can just rub it out and redo it. And then the final bit of the initial sketch is the hands. from which point we can refine the pencil lines and then ink it in with biro, adding in the shading. A bit of red for the pom-poms, and then we cut it out as shown. I'll come back to the extra bit of paper on the left shortly, but first we want to fold round the excess paper and glue it into a cylinder shape so that we can slot our fingers into it to help the puppet walk. And just bear in mind which hand you'll use so you know which finger will be going into which cylinder, as it's going to affect how tightly you glue them in terms of the diameter of each cylinder, as your fingers will be slightly different thicknesses. Also, bear in mind that the middle finger should reach the bottom of its cylinder, whereas the index finger rests towards the top of its cylinder due to the difference in your finger lengths. This little section is going to allow the head to sway from side to side, giving it a bit more movement. It's 3.2 centimetres wide, the top two sections are 1 centimetre in height, the section with the diagonal cross on it is 7 millimetres in height, and the bottom section is 2 centimetres, and it folds as shown. You might want to double up with another layer of paper the same size glued to the back of this section, as it will take quite a lot of wear and tear, but there should be enough space on the template for you to do that. This section then feeds into the slot cut into the top of the body section, and it glues into the back so that you can see the 7 millimetre section is visible at the front of the puppet, but with the diagonal lines you drew on there at the back. We reshade this section with the biro and glue the top 2 centimetres. The head is then glued on as shown and the end folded over. And then the face section then refolds. And that's your Pennywise puppet. So there you have it. That's how to make a Pennywise puppet from a single sheet of paper. Now, you can grab the template from my online shop right now and give it a go today. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is that you are all amazing at giving me brilliant ideas for future puppets. Difficulty is, when I'm making these big complex puppets, it just takes so long that I don't get a chance to give it a go. But with this new series, the benefit is that I can be more responsive to your ideas. So let me know in the comments what puppets you want me to make next, and I'll take a look, and the most popular ones I'll try and factor into this series going forward. So get your thinking caps on. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.